Good morning. Just hitting my live on Instagram. And let's see. Make sure my mic is green, so that means it's working. Don't you hate these introductions where you're like, okay, you're waiting for Ginny to say something? Yep, there we go. These introductions where you're like, I am in there. So, good morning. I have no oat milk in my coffee this morning, just plain black vanilla. And I almost didn't show up. Let me see what we got here. Good morning. Good morning. Is it Tanya or Tanya? Some people like to say it different. Good morning, Mrs. Kim. So, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today at all. Matter of fact, in my newsletter last night, I said, all I know is I'm going to show up, and it's the perfect day to get up extra early because we set the clocks back here, right? So it shouldn't feel early, right? I almost didn't get up. I was like, you know what? But I got to show up. Why? Why? That is the question. But then I'm sitting here, getting ready to go live, and a bunch of stuff popped up into my head. So I guess I'll just share those unless there's something you want. Let me know. Let me see what's going on over here. Yeah, I came up with that. I can't remember. I was reading something. Well, you know how it goes, Kim, when we're like, because we're doing all this personal development. And Kim asked me, the guys over here, Kim asked me on Instagram, or not asked me, but said she loved the title Cup of Hope. And it's because I love my coffee, my morning coffee. It's a ritual. Not only am I addicted to the caffeine, but it's a ritual. And okay, so here's what I'm browsing the internet, right? All over the place, like everyone else, popping in and meeting people. And I would see all these people that are just, you get this feeling of hopelessness from them. And I don't believe that there is no hope. I believe that we are. This home business industry, I believe we are the hope. So that, I don't know why, but that just popped into my head. Like, I think that I should show up with my cup of coffee and hopefully give you a little bit of hope. Because if you keep stepping forward, and this flows right into what popped into my head earlier. Thank you, Kim. If you keep stepping forward, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what you say too. I mean, I did talk about this the other day. Your words are so important. So anyway, if you keep stepping forward, there's hope. There is hope. As long as you did something and you tried to do your best, right? I have a friend on my newsletter who sometimes he takes my stuff and puts it into his little magazine. And I'm so flattered that he does that. But I just glanced through it and I didn't realize that he put another one of my newsletters in there that I write. And I also decided to call my newsletter that too, by the way. It's we got a long message over here. Oh. Oh, I've got a famous actor stalking me. Yeah, okay. Anyway, where was I going with that? Okay, so the letter that he wrote, this kind of goes along with it, was, or the red letter he took from my newsletter, was the one that I titled Run Your Own Race. Who on here has seen that movie with Kevin Costner? And what is it called? It's about the cross-country runners who, they're immigrants, they're migrants, and he gets fired from his job, and because he's like a big football coach, right? He gets fired from his job because of, there was a kid on there that wasn't making the grade, and he kicked him off, and he was a high profile kid, stuff like that. And then he ends up coaching a cross country team instead in the middle of this migrant town. And anyway, the long story short is there's this one kid. He's a big kid. He's on the cross country team, and cross country runners are usually, lanky and tall, and they kind of run. I do have sound, right, Alice? Yeah, my mic's working. What do you need me to fix, JT? Good morning, beautiful. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So I got distracted over here. It looked like maybe my mic was going out or something, but it looks like it's fine. It's green on my screen, which means it's working. So anyway, there's this kid. There's this one kid on the team. And, they come in last, like every meet that they go to, this team. They've never had a cross-country team before. But, Kevin Costner finds all these ways to motivate these kids. And they start to believe in themselves. And this is key. This is key. It's such a beautiful movie. What is the name of it? Somebody help me with it. Can't remember. I could Google it, but it'll take me a minute, and then I'll be away from the story. Anyway, the big kid, he always comes in way last, right? But he finishes his race every time. He just runs steady and he finishes his race. And if you've ever run a race before, I'm proud of myself. I ran 3 10Ks. This is my first 10K this year. I ran 3 of them this year. And I ran a couple of 5Ks too. But anyway, so this was on my mind because when you run in a race, if you look around at any of the other people and you don't focus, you get way out of breath. You start to hyperventilate and that kind of thing because then you're trying to go too fast and you don't finish because you can't make it to the end. So the whole thing when you're running your race is you stay focused on you. You're taking one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and all you're doing is focusing on your breathing and your rhythm because you got to stay in your pace because you won't finish. I'm serious. You won't finish because you will hyperventilate, pass out, whatever, because it's just, you're pushing yourself beyond your abilities. So it's called McFarland. Just popped into my head. That's the name of the movie. So the whole point of my letter was to stay in your lane and run your race. Don't look around at the other people because you have a job to do and you have to stay in step and in rhythm. This is anything, right? You have to finish. And once you start to see that goal, like the last mile, when you can see the finish line ahead, then you start to step it up a little bit if you have anything left in you. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just like, holy crap, I'm almost there. But you just keep moving. And then you get this tunnel vision where you can only see the finish line. And when you step across it, It's such a great feeling. So the point about the big kid on the team, I kind of got off on a tangent there, but I wanted to make my point about running your race. This happened in like the championship meet or whatever at the end of the movie, where one of their faster runners, got distracted. He wanted to beat this other kid, so he just was running too fast. And at the finish line, his coach is like, where the heck is this kid? He's not there. But then all of a sudden he sees the big kid coming up, way further up ahead than what he normally is. But he's just running his race. He's literally just chucking along like he always does. And he ends up helping them win the championship. It's such a highly emotional movie. You got to see it. It's called McFarland. It is really good. So, yeah, Alice says she'll fall down if she looks at other people. Well, and you know what? And that's true, because some of the races were on trails and I have to watch if there's ruts and shit. I mean, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that on here, hey, on live, but whatever. Not for kids. I guess I'll have to put that on my YouTube. You're funny, but it's true. You can't do two things at once. It's true. And I'll give you another tip there. This is from a tech point of view. You actually only have one processor. It's a powerful processor, but it's only one. So you're not actually physically capable of multitasking. It's not possible. You can argue with me about it, but it's actually not true. And you can ask Ray Williams about it. You can't hold more than one thought in your head at once. So that's a myth, the multitasking. What it's called when you're working on your computer is background tasking, because what you can do is you could run, set up a report to run or whatever, and then you got to wait for it, right? So then you go do something else and then go back to it. So I know Ray is awesome. So I guess my point to you today with our little cup of hope is, as long as you're stepping one foot in front of the other, you're going to get there. It's inevitable. If you're always stepping forward, you have to get there eventually. Whether you're last or not, it doesn't even matter. And you won't be last because somebody else will be coming up behind you. Right? Always. I guess that's my big message today. I have a lot on my list today. So, one of them is helping one of my clients. I help people get their stuff going, like their autoresponders and your business center. If you never got that set up, I can help you get it set up faster and get to your goal without getting distracted by all the other little steps. That's what I do. So get on my newsletter, because nobody knew that I was coming live today except for the people on my newsletter and people who saw maybe 20 minutes ago when I posted it. So if you want some of those stories, I don't share them all the time, but that one I did because it was on my screen. And if you like stuff like that, I do write about stuff like that. There's also free training there. So keep moving forward. And I will see you at the finish line, because I'll be cheering for you if I'm there, and you'll be cheering for me. Right? Let's go. Love you guys. Thanks for coming. Keep moving forward. Thank you, Alice. See you next time. Tomorrow morning, because, I believe I will be here the next 2 or 3 days tomorrow morning. Something like that. But get on my newsletter so I can let you know. All right? I've got to go to work. I got stuff to do. See you later.